What if some of the most famous philosophies in history were all trying to explain the same terrifying truth? That humans may never fully understand reality. For centuries, philosophers have questioned consciousness, identity, meaning, and existence itself. Some of these ideas sound impossible at first, until you actually think about them for more than a few minutes. And honestly, the longer you think about them, the more unsettling they become. Because maybe reality is far stranger than humans are comfortable admitting. And maybe the most terrifying philosophy of all begins with your own mind. Solipsism is the idea that the only thing you can truly prove exists is your own consciousness. Everything else, people, reality, even this video, could simply exist inside your perception. At first, that sounds ridiculous, but think about it carefully. Every single thing you have ever experienced has happened inside your mind. You have never experienced reality directly. You experience your senses, your thoughts, your perception of reality, but you can never step outside your own consciousness to verify that the world exists exactly the way you think it does. For example, imagine you're dreaming. While you're inside the dream, everything feels real. The people feel real, the places feel real, the conversations feel real. But once you wake up, you realize your brain created the entire experience. Solipsism asks a disturbing question. What if waking life is no different? And even if that sounds impossible, you can never completely disprove it, which is exactly what makes the idea so disturbing. But humans have questioned reality for far longer than the internet even existed. More than 2,000 years ago, the philosopher Plato imagined humans trapped inside a cave. In this cave, prisoners spent their entire lives chained to a wall. They could only see shadows projected in front of them, and because those shadows were all they had ever known, they believed the shadows were reality itself. But outside the cave existed an entirely different world they couldn't even imagine. Now think about modern life. People constantly experience reality through social media, news, algorithms, online opinions, filtered perspectives. Most people never see the full picture. They only see fragments. And eventually, humans start mistaking limited perception for objective truth. For example, imagine someone who has lived their entire life in one small room with only a television. Their understanding of the world would completely depend on what the screen shows them. Plato's cave suggests humans may already be living like that, not physically trapped inside a cave, but trapped inside limited perception. And if humans misunderstand reality, then what about meaning itself? Nihilism is the belief that life has no inherent meaning, no universal purpose, no cosmic reason, no guaranteed significance. At first, that sounds depressing, because humans naturally want meaning. People want to believe their lives matter, their choices matter, their existence has purpose. But nihilism argues that the universe itself may simply not care. For example, imagine the entire human race disappeared tomorrow. The universe would continue existing. Stars would continue burning. Galaxies would continue moving. The universe itself would not suddenly stop. And that realization can feel terrifying. But interestingly, some philosophers saw freedom inside nihilism. Because if life has no predetermined meaning, then humans are free to create meaning themselves. Meaning may not be discovered, it may be created. And maybe that's why people still continue loving, creating, dreaming, surviving, even in a universe that may not provide answers. And if humans create meaning, then maybe humans also create themselves. Existentialism says humans define themselves through their actions and choices. Your identity is not fixed. You constantly shape who you are through every decision you make. And honestly, that idea sounds empowering at first, until you realize the responsibility it creates. Because it means nobody else can truly decide your purpose for you. Not society, not your family, not fate. You are responsible for becoming the person you choose to be. For example, imagine two people born into the exact same environment. One chooses to remain trapped by fear. The other chooses to change their life completely. Existentialism argues that humans are not completely defined by circumstances alone. Their choices matter, and that freedom can feel terrifying, because it means humans cannot always blame destiny for the lives they create. But even identity itself becomes strange the longer humans think about it. The Ship of Theseus begins with a simple question. Imagine a ship slowly having its parts replaced over time. One plank gets replaced, then another, then another. Eventually, none of the original pieces remain. Is it still the same ship? At first, this sounds like a simple thought experiment. Until you apply it to humans. Your body changes constantly. Your cells change. Your memories change. Your personality changes. The version of you from 5 years ago may think completely differently than you do now. For example, think about your childhood self. Maybe your fears changed. Your personality changed, your goals changed, your beliefs changed. So after years of becoming someone new, are you still the exact same person? Or are humans simply constantly changing versions of themselves? The Ship of Theseus turns identity itself into a mystery. And eventually, humans began questioning reality itself. Simulation theory suggests reality itself could be artificial, that the universe may function more like a programmed system than objective reality. At first, it sounds like science fiction, but modern technology makes the idea feel strangely less impossible. Humans have already created realistic virtual worlds, advanced artificial intelligence, digital simulations, realistic video games, and technology continues improving every year. Now imagine a civilization millions of years more advanced than humans. Would they be capable of creating a perfectly simulated reality? Maybe. And if they could, then how would humans inside that simulation ever know? For example, video game characters do not realize they exist inside a game. Everything inside their world appears normal from their perspective. Simulation theory asks a terrifying question. What if humans are no different? And honestly, the more advanced technology becomes, the stranger that possibility starts to feel. Maybe that's why philosophy continues to fascinate humans, because every generation keeps asking the same questions. What is reality? Who are we? What gives life meaning? And can humans ever truly understand existence objectively? Maybe reality is exactly what humans believe it is. Or maybe humans only see tiny fragments of something much larger. And maybe the scariest part is that we may never fully know.